How should I celebrate 2,021 subscribers in 2021? Well, I get asked a lot how I make these videos, so let's go in depth with my new Panama City Bandscan. It was one of the last markets in Florida to get a video, and I went there now because 3 analog stations were still licensed there. The adventure begins at rabbitears.info. I print out a list of all the market's licensed stations so I know what to expect. By hunting around Google Maps and peeking at the coverage maps, I pick one or more scan locations. Parks are best, strip malls will do in a pinch. I cross-reference the coverage maps for low power stations to make sure I'll have a good signal on everything.
60-minute buzz, 100.5 The Buzz.
Yeah, Mangani is with us.
And March will give you a whole lot more with something you...
97X.
Now I'm here in real life in Carl Gray Park. Here's the car and Channel Master 4220 HD up on the tripod. Got my sandbags at the bottom. There's a preamp on it. It wasn't hooked up for this. 5G filter too. Go inside the car where the DX keg is. That's where I've decided to call this. And the laptop recording too. See the composition book there where I take my notes. So let's hit record and see what's on the air. With the Insignia NS DXA1, I can start at the bottom of the VHF band and work my way up. I add stations one at a time, record a little of each sub-channel and delete. This way I can tell if the virtual channel numbers are split. For example, WPMI has both virtual 15 and virtual 44. I make a list as I go and double check that I recorded all of them. Sometimes the station will decode on the first pass and then clam up on me when the recording starts. The Insignia outputs in standard definition. For HD, I use my laptop with a Hauppauge USB tuner. My top priority is to get the news opens. They're always my favorite station IDs.
Hey, good Monday afternoon. Look at that. Beautiful sunshine today across Northwest Florida. We take a live look across Panama City Beach.
I was also sure to grab WPCT's Beach TV ID in HD. I once DX'd this tourist station from Fort Myers, and the format always catches my interest. Can you believe we don't have one in Orlando? I mean, really. The analog station, WHDYLP, you already saw in my analog to the end video. 10 was off the air and 40 was a long shot. I drove right up to the transmitter just to be 100% sure they were off. No parking lots here, just the side of the road, in the dark, and I still drove home after. This was almost a record for the farthest I drove and then returned home the same day. A 2007 job interview still beat it out. Once I've rested, it's back to rabbitears.info. Seriously, guys, this site is a candy store for TVDXers. Tripp is an awesome guy. He gave me permission to use the coverage maps in my videos. So I fill in station details on my list. The power in the city's a license, and I get the maps as I go. Now on my editing machine, we'll start with the first thing you always see, the fair use graphic. This is when I kick myself for not taking pictures of Panama City. I remembered in Charlotte, Miami, New York, Orlando, and Fort Myers, obviously. Well, I did shoot this. You just saw it a minute ago. Sure, why not? Screen grab. So of course I want to have the fair use notice somewhere. The credits come with it. Rabbit Ears, OpenStreetMap, TechnoAxe. The equipment I used for the scan is right up here. The keg, the laptop, the antenna, export, PNG. What comes next? The channel's listed graphic. If you bought TV guides back before 2005, you know what this was inspired by. I'd find them on sale when traveling and I'd flip it straight open to this page. At the start of every band scan, I want to capture that feeling of opening up a new TV guide in a city you've never been before, so you, dear viewer, can experience it too. There's some planning involved here, so the graphic looks balanced. The stations that decoded get the filled-in ovals, while the subdecodes get the outlines. I don't put them back to back in the same city. I did that for Macon, and I hate how it looked. I might list them under their cities of license or some combination, Mobile/Pensacola, or if I gotta break them off, a town near the transmitter. I do a lot of tweaking so it just looks good. Now we're going to make the sidebar. This is a local band scan, so I'll switch it to yellow. I just updated this template a bit. Local graphics used to be orange. I don't remember why. Plug in the city and date. All the stations are going to start with W, and we'll change this to Panama City. We want kilowatts, not kilometers, and a blank map with the I am here X in the middle. I save it as a separate XCF file. Now with that as my base, I'll create PNG sidebars for each subchannel. All the details I wrote in my notes go into the graphic. I move this highlighting bar down for each subchannel. I also export a blank version to transition between the RF channels. Most of the text is in Helvetica and New. It's been my favorite font ever since I discovered it, and the eGrabo HD logo is based on a similar font. The RF channel number is added later. That's a greenish number with Arial Narrow. It's meant to resemble those channel selectors they had in the early 80s. Each VHF channel had a button, and you'd get a couple you can program for UHF channels. I'd see them around when I was a kid, pre-DXing, and that memory always stuck with me. The editing program I use is Sony Movie Studio. I think it's called Vegas Movie Studio now. It's basically Sony Vegas, a real professional editor, but way more affordable. It just had 4K disabled, which is fine because I only use 720p. We're in the render template. You can see the HD files I captured and the big file I recorded on the DX keg with everything in it. I don't just drop these directly into the final project. Sometimes the HD files won't import or they'll crash the editor. A little off-air interference can result in a corrupt file. I size them, usually boost the audio level, and export each clip. We almost have all the pieces. Before we put them together for YouTube, I gotta pick some music for the intro. I use tracks from TechnoAxe, a YouTube channel, for all my videos. If you hear one and want to know what it's called, it's always down in the video description. All the clips go in order of RF channel numbers, separated by 1 second of black. Subchannels are separated by 5 frames of black. I got these RF channel numbers adjusted just the way I like them. There's a little square I put in, 20 frames long, to indicate we're changing the channel. The edits are always marked. The word kind of floats up and disappears like points in Super Mario. I decided early on to mark my edits because I didn't want it to look like the stations were cutting things off, being sloppy. I just try to make the edits obvious. This is better though. This stuck. Audio levels, of course, I want to keep consistent. It's amazing how many YouTubers don't do this, but you should not have to crank your volume up and down as you watch any of my videos. Last but not least, we throw some text on the screen. I got information, I got snarky comments. It's better than talking over the clips. I mean, you've heard my voice. I'm surprised you watch this all the way to the end. And that's basically my workflow. Software's a bit dated. It'll change soon. I'm experimenting with Linux again. Hopefully I can jump to an open source editing program. Everything else is open source, as you can see. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments if there's anything else you'd like to know. Thanks 1,000 for watching, and make that 2,000. Maybe in another 20 years when I got my hover antenna and AI tuning software, I can thank you 1,000,000. So I've released a lot of videos during the latter part of this pandemic because I've had the time, I've had things that I wanted to do for a while, like we released the Patchog videos, analog to the end, of course, something that needs to be done right now. And it's been the 20th anniversary of the website, so I was very much in the mood to release more YouTube videos. But now I'm getting back into the writing. Now I'm getting the vaccine and life's returning to normal. I want to get out there and have a social life. So now you've seen how much work goes into these videos, and with me driving around the state to record the analog stuff, of course I've been kind of pulling off and recording the digital stuff too. And it seems a shame to waste it, but at the same time I don't want to take all that time to do a full updated Bandscan. But as I noted in the Panama City video itself, that was my first Florida Bandscan video post 2020 repack, which means all the other Bandscans are now out of date, and I don't want to. I wasn't planning to update those Bandscans for a few more years, but at the same time, I want to get something up there, and it seems kind of a shame to put the footage to waste. So what I've decided to do in the meantime is I'm calling a no frills Bandscan. So I take the recording from the box, I make a list of the stations, and I put it in a single graphic and minimal edits. Presto, it's up on the channel for everyone to enjoy. It's faster for me out there in the field, much faster for me back here at home, much quicker turnaround, and it means I can get some updated material out there without having to really do the whole high effort thing. Especially, you think about Miami, Tampa, Orlando, these are large markets and even more work still. I mean, that Miami 2016 Bandscan took a long time, and I'm very happy with how it turned out, but I'm not willing to do the whole Miami 2021 Bandscan right now. So we can have the no frills Miami Bandscan. So you'll see those on the channel. I'll post them in batches. You'll see them on the channel very soon, and those will hold us over. They're not going to replace any of the real Bandscans. Those are still going to happen, but like I said, not this year. So they'll hold us over. So that's it for the moment. That's Tecmo. So thanks for watching. Thank you for subscribing. 2021 plus subscribers, and looking forward to 3,000, 4,000, 40 million. Who knows how far this channel is going to go. Hopefully I get some great catches in Crystal River, some great material.